watch this IPL till the other IPL starts, then you'll have a good picture. By around 3 or 4, usually what you would know by about 12:31, you now know by about 3 or 4. So if it settles in 3 or 4, that's the way it's likely to be. But what's very clear is that there is no question of an RJD sweep. Nothing of the sort happened. What's also very clear is that the NDA has the momentum. But that one data set for which I'm getting continuous updates coming up on your screen, the latest iteration, how many of these seats are currently playing at a margin of less than 1,000? 76 seats out of 243 at this moment on a knife's edge with a margin of less than 1,000. If you thought the polls in the US were close, this is close and exciting as well, and it's taking a fair amount of time.
And just in a couple of minutes since we last spoke, you've suddenly seen a few of the seats change hands. You know, what was 135 playing 98 becomes 127 playing 103. So this is going to change right through. And remember, 122 is the magical mark. But even at that magical mark, I think the Congress knew something you and I didn't know, because they sent 2 of their leaders yesterday to Patna fearing poaching. So clearly politicians...
No, but why is it that the RJD MLAs, even when the RJD gets 0 in the Lok Sabha, those MLAs don't leave, but Congress MLAs are always willing to leave?
That's a very good question. That's also because the sense is the Congress has fewer MLAs. So it's easier to break a party with fewer MLAs. Having said that, we saw what happened in Madhya Pradesh, where despite the fact that you had such a large number, people were willing to leave their seats. Disqualified.
That's the bypass rule of the BJP.
Sure, but they managed to get a ticket from the BJP, and most of them are winning today. So there is a pattern, almost a sort of a template now established. If you don't like what's happening in your party, or you want greater loaves and fishes of office, you're even ready to lose your membership.
Look, my own assessment is that the reason why Surjewala and Mr. Pandey were sent there was not so much to guard against poaching. They were hoping that once the election results come out, they would be able to put pressure, bargain with RJD for Deputy Chief Ministership.
Also, along with that, I want to say Shakti Singh Goyal, who's the General Secretary in charge, has got COVID. He's in hospital. So they needed to send someone as a substitute to him. So there could be other reasons,
yes,
but clearly
Surjewala was there as
vulnerable.
I
Yes,
have updates from Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh updates say BJP leading on 20 out of the 28 seats, the Congress leading only on 7, the BSP leading on 1.
So good day for
everywhere. Good day for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh, in Gujarat, in Uttar Pradesh. Shwapan, good day for the BJP in the by-poll results. If anybody thought that the pandemic was causing massive distress, the polls aren't showing that.
Well, certainly, and I think this is probably the biggest takeaway from these polls, is that it makes us revise a larger assessment of how the political alignments and the mood of the country is. So that's a significant takeaway.
Very quickly, yes, Manisha.
When we look at the party-wise situation,
yes,
even the RJD at this point of time is punching below its weight in the current assembly. It's at the moment at about 68 seats. Even if it does very well of the 76 seats, you would see that it hasn't done dramatically better than where it stood. The Congress at about 20 seats is way below the mark that it had in the current assembly. And once again, the left and the Congress together, even Steven, the left definitely doing very well, but fighting very few seats to be able to make a real difference to this coalition.
You know, my old theory, 70 seats for the Congress, was it
no,
too
but
much?
Can I just say, I just heard from the Election Commission, Rajdeep, only 20% of the votes have been counted so far.
Now, only at this moment. So look, we have to do ball by ball.
80% is still left.
In the ball by ball commentary that we do, my analysis, which has remained steadfast for days now, is that when you're fighting a tough election, if it's not a wave election, then every partner has to pull his or has to pull their weight. RJD may not be doing as well as they wanted, but they're still getting nearly 50% of their seats. So it's not as bad as someone getting less than 30%.
Can we go across live at this time to the IT chief cell of the Bharatiya Janata